Recently, we talked about a Warzone cheater known as Cyrus who came out and admitted that he had cheated because he needed the money. Along with this, we had the story of, at the time of him cheating, just being 16 years old. Apparently, because of previous things he had done due to some legal reasons, he couldn't find a job. So he decided to sit down on Warzone and cheat to make money, to which he admitted on a recording that he did not know was being recorded, but has been posted everywhere.
I did it because I needed the bread. And then as soon as I was able to get a couple dollars to my name.
Did Solidify ever hack?
Nah, he never used it. He just made people use it for him.
He literally bought people cheats. That's funny.
And this case has a follow-up because it's now become one of the more interesting cheater accusation stories. As if you guys missed that original breakdown, it was actually Cyrus admitting this both on Twitter and in a post that I no longer can be found, but still, before being deleted or being privated, he also admitted it live in this call. The most weird part of this that people are trying to kind of gather is that he also accuses a different player known as Solidify of peer pressuring him into actually using the cheats, into paying for the cheats, and to also playing alongside him while he was cheating, robbing other players of well-deserved money. So at a base level, to me, a cheater is a cheater. And I hate the outside circumstances because, you know, you do pity some people out there, the life circumstances they are in. I would say if you're trying to make money, there are always ways to do so. You don't need to take that money from well-deserving players who are playing legit and earning it. And he throws in the fact that he couldn't find a job. So I don't know those details, but you know, when I was a teenager, there are plenty of jobs out there that can make solid money. It got confusing because he also admitted that when he was cheating, he only robbed people of less than $1,000, which is still a lot of money as a 16-year-old, but you work a whole summer. So for me, a lot of things were not adding up off the rip. But he also just took to Twitter saying, yes, it's true. Not going to sit here and act like a victim, but not once did I ever win any champs tweets using cheats. I met Solidify back in Caldera. He was a part of the group, including all of the S-tier Warzone players, people I look up to and want to be around. Later on, I got broke due to EF. He hated losing to hackers and told me it's a good idea to hack and no one would catch me. I said I wouldn't, but he kept peer pressuring me, and it's not like I could go get a job. I was 16 and immature and was being manipulated and made the mistake of listening to another man and bought cheats to help my own situation and for him to profit as well. And that's a very bold claim, one that he made where he admitted he was under the influence. I don't know of what in that first clip where he admitted that it was him and this older player Solidify who bought him the cheats and peer pressured him into doing it and then played with alongside him. He then also admits that in a tweet and then later tweets showing the confirmation of the funds being sent to him to also purchase the tweets. A lot of dollar amounts are being thrown around there because some of this USD, some of this Canadian dollar, and of course you have PayPal transactions taking part of the fees too. So a big part of this case became, okay, if he is showing proof that this older player, Solidify, sent him funds to buy cheats and then to play alongside him and rob, you know, legitimate players, okay, that's a pretty incriminating story. Solidify has now also responded and claimed that none of this is true. And I will say that the key component of all of this to me is the dollar amount. A 3166 keeps on popping up, although in the screenshots there's a different number, so you don't know the transaction amount, exactly what the number was. But could he disprove the fact that he sent this man a very exact dollar amount, which that man claims was used to buy cheats, and then they played alongside each other? That was the weird part of all of this. And when asked about that dollar amount, he didn't really have many reasons as to why.
Asking, like, there has to be some type of proof here. There has to be.
So I think the big question that a lot of people were asking was, okay, you sent him money to help out with some of his debts. Why did you send him $31.66 exactly, which is, I think, what the cheat cost?
Yeah, no knowledge on that, why he wanted that, but there's multiple times where I paid his wager losses.
So you would pay to the cent number.
Yes, and Clint can attest to this. I don't know what he needed the money for. He didn't tell me. He would say it's a wager loss or whatever. Clink Slays, you guys can go get his opinion on this too. He would ask all of us to pay his wager losses. 90% of the time when he was playing at the end of Caldera, he didn't have the money to pay his losses.
Sure, totally understand that. I've helped the boys out before a time or two, but you know, do you usually send like to the cent? Like
no, it's usually like 25, 50 or something like that. That's more of like a more wager, you know, common number. But
yeah, right.
That's what he asked to do. But can I ask you guys this question real quick? If I'm gonna pay for this kid to cheat, why wouldn't I play with him?
But then later on, he showed all of the transactions that he had sent this young cheater, Cyrus, over PayPal. And there were multiple transactions for very specific and random dollar amounts, which further throws his case. When I first heard this, I was like, wow, I don't see a reason why, this kid would lie about being manipulated and peer pressured by another player, because they did play alongside each other several times. But the dollar amount it's tough to draw too much from this. He did have a lot of transactions with a guy he suspected of cheating, so that's still suspicious. At the very end of the day, what Solidify has done, interacting with a cheater, knowing or being suspicious about a cheater, and still, paying him several transactions, that's odd behavior. To which Solidify has now taken multiple times to Twitter to try and clear his name, saying Cyrus cheating has everything to do with him and how in debt and down bad he was, and nothing to do with me. No one peer pressured him to do anything. He asked me and others to fund him plenty of times, and that's all I did, was lend the kid money, which he asked for an entire month after he actually bought the cheats. His screenshots show that I sent him money on PayPal on November 29th. He bought the cheats September 20th. This kid literally preached to me how much in need of money he was, and all I did was lend him when he asked. My mistake was knowing he was doing it and not doing it more, but I never had anything to do with him cheating. Just felt bad because he's a good kid deep down. I thought so at the time. So people having the issue that he assumed or had suspicions that the kid was cheating, Cyrus, and he still was interacting with him and paying him. So yeah, that's a bit suspicious. And then later he also posted again all these transactions between the two, saying I'm making this tweet to put the remaining facts out there about the situation, since when a hate train arrives, it's impossible to keep up with the allegations being thrown around. These screenshots show that during the span of my friendship with the kid, I've sent him money many times to help his wager debts and help him because he was my friend. Whatever he'd need, I'd send exactly. I'm also Canadian, so the PayPal fees and conversions are different each time, and there will always be cents left over. These are the many transactions with the span of months. I was always told they were for his debts. Secondly, when I said I knew he was cheating, it wasn't until January, and I meant it was a strong assumption. I asked him to get his PC checked and would tweet out gifts of red boxes each time I lost to him. I say I know someone is cheating whenever I believe it to the core. That was me just miswording it, and I cleared that up during the podcast. And then after all of this, though, people have gone back on his COD tracker to these dates and witnessed how many times the two have actually played together. The timeline can be a bit hairy for some, but it is after September, the supposed time where he did buy those cheats. So it really comes down to, they played together a number of times in these 2v2s and in these wagers. It comes down to, did he have a strong assumption or did he know? But he regardless was still playing with him. And now it's more of a he said, she said kind of story where it's one man's word versus another, but neither really have the full proof to either prove it or to either disprove it. And so I'm not sure if we're going to hear from Cyrus again. A lot of his part of the story was, hey, I was young, I made a mistake, I know I'm a good person, that I can redeem myself. And a lot of people out there thinking, hey, you're both suspicious, and for one, guaranteed Cyrus deserves to be blacklisted because you did steal money in competition. Therefore, you don't deserve to compete in Warzone any longer. And I would agree with that.
The only weird part for me is just the money, which obviously, if you're looking at the chat, everybody's spamming it. Like I just look, if my homie needs 3166, I'm sending him 32 or 35 or 30 or what. Like I don't know, man. That's just weird to me. If that's what you do though, to like
100%
fully cover, maybe it's because he needed to pay out of the PayPal. I don't know. I'm not trying to give you an excuse, but
in that situation, because I know sometimes on PayPal you could do a request. Was it one of these things where he said, hey, can you send me this? Or is it he sent a request and you just said accept or whatever, send?
No, I just sent. He asked for that. He must have just asked for that amount. He never requested money once.
So you would have had to manually type in a weird ass number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, that comes off like to me weird as well. Is because it is such a weird number. Like you said, if you're doing wagers, it's going to be $35, $40.
There's other transactions
50.
there that aren't that.
Yeah.
We've paid his wager losses before, whether there's 20, 25, probably a 50 in there too. Like I didn't do it for the cheats. I thought I was helping somebody out that needed it.
Yeah, I can't see the guy's PayPal info. I'm just looking at a picture. You know what I mean? That's all I see. So I got no idea.
At the end of the day, I do think Cyrus admits his own guilt. I can only say that Solidify has some suspicious activity interacting so frequently now with a known cheater. Unfortunately, that's always going to partially incriminate you. And I wish you the best of luck in trying to clear your name. with more information or just with time, as time will tell best. But a more so important message to any kids out there, it doesn't matter what age you are. We have seen this in many scenes out there, whether you're 14, 15, 16. If you're any older than that, you're definitely screwed. But young age does not give you an excuse to cheat if you ever want to be a competitive player, a pro player, or a streamer and content creator. These things will always haunt you, and you will always regret them in the end. So it's a simple message. No matter what your age, just don't cheat. Even if you're sick of going up against cheaters, just don't cheat. If you ever aspire to be something of note in a space, you don't want to cheat. And you probably shouldn't be cheating regardless, okay? That's, God dang it. But until next time, enjoy yourselves, guys. What do you think about the situation? Certainly interesting. Probably the last time we'll hear about it, but we'll see if anything else surfaces. Till next time, take care. Okay, bye.